All right, welcome back to the Peanut Butter Republic. This is the second episode now. I kind of went over it in the introduction, like the first episode, but I plan today on building a fire watchtower. Sorry if you can hear that. There's like a dump truck or something driving by. Anyways, the first thing I need to do is gather up all the materials I need to start building. So I figure I'm probably gonna need a lot of spruce wood for this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show off this little path first of all, because I didn't actually show this area off that much in the intro, because I already built the tower. That was all pre-recorded footage. I had mentioned it. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the spruce forest real quick. Okay, so I figure this probably isn't like the most interesting footage to watch looking back at it, so I kind of just sped it up here. And, I figure now is probably a good time to just sort of talk about my life, what's been going on recently. Kind of a big thing. I moved. um, I lived in a pretty small town for pretty much my whole life, and recently, as in within the last 2 months, I actually moved to Seattle, Washington, and man, it has been an experience. I mean, there's just so much of everything. Like, it's so more diverse. There's so much more to do, and there's like events going on every day. Oh, you can see I accidentally was recording with the audio turned down at that point, and I turned it back up here. But it's been like a weird culture shock, just how much is different than home. It's like a whole different world here. I mean, my hometown, it's not the smallest town in America. I'm sure there's probably smaller towns, and as a matter of fact, I think it has a population around like 60,000. But there's a lot of people, but it's very like spread out. Whereas here, there's a lot of people and everybody's so close together, and it's so different. And I mentioned in the previous episode that my old coworker, is the one is the one hosting this realm, and we actually worked at Target together. And I went ahead and I just transferred stores. I transferred from the store there to the one here in Seattle, and man, that has been an experience too in itself. I mean, everything has just been like an experience. I'll talk a bit more about it later, but as you can see now, I think I had enough wood at this point. I chopped down, I want to say like, I mean, I'll probably look at the inventory at some point, but like 7 stacks of wood. I actually even think I had a little bit too much spruce wood. I think I had some leftovers. Oh, you can kind of see the door work better though. It's kind of cool. The bell actually makes them all run inside so that they don't try to escape the second it opens. The only thing though is that it doesn't work with the golems. The golems can easily escape still. That's still an issue, but I mean, none of them gotten out yet, so it's clearly not that big of an issue. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool though, like this location that I decided to build in, because this mountain here is pretty much all natural formation. The only alterations I made are really this like little cutout pathway here. Um, but when I saw this mountain, pretty much when I first moved into this little lake area, the first thing I thought of was I need to build a tower there. But I couldn't decide like what kind of tower. Like originally it was going to be like a wizard tower, but then I decided, oh, I'll just put that inside the compound, which I kind of did, not really. I probably will revisit that idea later and like build like a proper wizard tower somewhere. But I was like, a Firewatch tower would be really cool, because I kind of always had like this weird fascination with Firewatch towers, like especially like in video games and stuff. Fun fact actually about myself: when I was a little kid, I actually wanted to be a park ranger. Like I wanted to be the park rangers that like live up in those towers. Here I had to run home to grab some more supplies that I had forgotten to grab. I'll leave that part out, obviously. But yeah, as I fly back in here, continuing off of that, yeah, because I did a lot of traveling and like around like 2019, 2020, and we went to like a lot of public parks, and I talked to a lot of park rangers, and I learned a lot about the job and like the schooling and stuff for it. And I don't know, I just thought it'd be really fun. I never pursued it, obviously, but I'm not gonna lie to you. During this process, I stood AFK a lot because when I was building, I had to like keep getting up and doing stuff or something. I don't really remember. Yeah. So for this build, for like the most part, I was following like a tutorial on YouTube, and I'll actually link that tutorial in the description just to give the guy some credit, or I guess the person, whoever made it, some credit. Um, but I wasn't a super huge fan of like the hyper detailing on it with like fence gates and stuff. I've been playing Minecraft for a long time, and my build style hasn't really changed much. I've always been a fan of like the super, not super, but like the more simple builds with like not crazy detailing. I mean, I've been known to do a little bit of that in the past, but as you can kind of see with what I showed you earlier, that's not really what I'm going for in this realm, or like this series, I guess. Um, so I went ahead and I kind of just like freestyled it. I changed a lot of the designs that he, or sorry, I keep saying he. I need to stop assuming it could be anyone. That they used in the video. Like I changed some of the blocks, and then I'll show you at the very end, but like the actual like interior part, I completely did differently. Um, yeah, you can see me kind of planning it out, and then I had to run home. Like I said earlier, I think I said this earlier. If not, I had to run home like so many times during recording to like grab more items. But yeah, I started off by doing the supports. I kind of tried to do something weird with like these buttons. Oh, well, uh, this happens a lot. You'll see it. I fall off so many times. I just and then I failed a couple times with the elytra. Right here, I don't know if it's the mod, or not the mod, it's not a mod, but like the resource pack I'm using for the sounds glitched or something. But there's like a weird sound there, and if anybody knows what it was, if they could comment and let me know, because for a minute I thought like a piece of my armor broke or something. I don't know. Um, Here, I'll go ahead and I'll play it again, and I won't talk over it this time. So, if anybody actually wants to identify. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna speed up the building process, and then we'll just, just talk about some stuff throughout. Yeah, I think I'll just talk about like my day. So, today specifically, I did work today. I worked from 5 a.m. to noon, and I'm not gonna lie to you, my shifts at this target here are usually pretty chill, especially today. Today was really calm and quiet. So the store I work at opens at 7 and I start at 5. So for like the first couple of hours, there's like nobody there. And I do the online, like the order pickups, like when people drive in to like just pick up the stuff they paid for already. I'm like the person who walks around the store and collects all the items, and I like it. It's pretty, it keeps me on my feet, it keeps me busy. It's not terribly stressful, except when you start running out of time on things because you can't find items, but that doesn't really happen super often. My management, the managers are all really cool. I really like the coworkers I have. I used to be in like the grocery department my first week of working at that Target, but I guess they must have just not had the hours in the department, because they pretty much pulled me out after the first week and put me right into it's called fulfillment. That's the name. That's like the role they serve. Yeah, at my old store, I was in the grocery department pretty much by myself. I did the closing shift, so like 2 to 10. But anyways, I kind of feel like I used almost too many trapdoors, but I think in the end it looks fine. I mean, you'll see it later on. I mean, yeah, like I really like the job. And I think as of July 3rd, actually, was my 2-year anniversary of working for Target as like a company. It's nice. It's something simple, something I can do. I definitely think it's not what I want to do for like the rest of my life. I've kind of just, for a very long time, I've put off really even thinking about any potential careers or whatever. Man, I don't want to start getting into that. I think I'm going to try switching the subject at this point. So yeah, you can see here, I believe I went the pillars up 6 blocks each. Something like that, yeah. Oh, he sounds really funny, the oof sound. Yeah, part of the resource pack I have that adds in the old sound effects, it adds in the old oof sound effect. I haven't really talked very much about my texture pack or anything, or the sounds. But yeah, it adds in all the old sounds, like the weird realistic door sound for like the chests and the trapdoors and the doors and stuff, and then the chests are full blocks and stuff. I tried building with these scaffolding blocks, but I've never really used them that much since they've gotten added. They've been in the game forever now, but I haven't really ever used them that much, so I'm not like fully good at using them. Like I just like would mess up with them a lot, and they just I think towards the end, or like towards like the middle of this build, I just kept like using dirt instead. One thing I regret about this footage is that I recorded a lot during the night, so it's kind of really hard to see what's happening. I do go to sleep, I think it's a couple times, but there was quite a few gaps where I kept building at night. So in the future, and any future episodes of this series, I'll definitely make sure to focus more on building during the daytime. Um, but yeah, I think after this episode, I think my next project I'm going to be working on is a raid farm. Kind of excited about that one. Those are really nice. If you don't know what that is, it's it's like a way to automate. As I run home to sleep now. I slept in the mushroom house. I think I slept in a different bed every time I ran home to sleep. Um, but like as I was saying, it automates like the raid process to give you like insane loot, like totemism and dying and stuff. I'm far progressed in this realm, but I'm not like crazy far. I don't have netherite or anything like that. I just have like a full set of diamond mending gear. A lot of that was just because they had a lot of stuff set up at spawn already to help with that. Like they had like a mending villager already captured and whatnot. But a lot of stuff I have, like they they said I could take anything I really wanted from spawn, but because there's like a bunch of diamonds at spawn, but I just like I felt weird just taking stuff. And I mean, I did take a couple things every now and then, but nothing like no diamonds or anything like that. Just took like random blocks that I didn't have that I needed, like wood and stuff. And I always do my best to like replace whatever I take. Um, and I don't think I shut it off actually, but I'll probably show you guys in my my tour of like the spawn city. But I actually did. I've built a couple things at spawn too, which I think are pretty cool. But yeah, that might be the next video after this one actually, instead of the raid farm. But yeah, today was good. I had my mother-in-law. Oh, I should probably mention this. I am married. My wife and I actually moved to Seattle. I kept talking about it like it was just me. I'm not alone. I moved to Seattle with my wife. We've been married for, oh gosh, I think almost a year. It'll be a year in December. So it's July now, so not terribly long off. But we've been together for about 3 years. Um, we have been enjoying it here so much. We've done a lot together here. We've been like exploring some of like the local restaurants and stuff. And it just feels like we're doing like so much better, like mental health wise, since we've gotten here. Like we're both I feel like we're both pretty happy here. But did a lot of alterations with this staircase. Yeah, like in the tutorial I was following, the person who made the tutorial like did like railing with like trapdoors on the side of the stairs, and I just wasn't a fan of that. I felt like it just was too much. It was too many trapdoors. I don't know. Um, but yeah, it's been really great living here. I'm really happy with the move. I am a little bit homesick. I kind of miss home a tiny bit, but I don't know. I think it's worth the trade. I really do. Just feeling a little sad every now and then versus all this crazy stuff I get to do now. I just have so much easier access to everything. I mean, there's an arcade that's really cool. That's like a 15-minute walk from my apartment or from our apartment. Um, but yeah, it's just been so cool. Yeah, going back to like talking about work, because I mean, I've been working a lot pretty much since we got here. Not a ton. I think I was working more back home, but some of my shifts have been a little bit more stressful. For those of you who don't know, as of recording right now, the World Cup has been in Seattle pretty much the whole month. So Target has been getting hit pretty hard with business-wise from like tourists and stuff. So it's been busy on the people side, but there's been a couple of shifts where like the online orders blew up. But for the most part, the 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 busyness I felt was like people asking questions and like answering questions. I'm like, hey, where do I find this item? Or do you guys have this? Do you guys have that? Um, and you know, I'm not terribly social. I'm not like a crazy sociable person. I feel like I am pretty quiet, but I think talking to so many people every day helps a lot. I used to be way worse, but I've actually been working retail pretty much since I like started working. My first job was actually at Walmart. I worked there for about a year. Before working there, oh man, I like it was so bad to a point where I couldn't place orders at like fast food restaurants. I had to like ask somebody else to do it for me. Like I couldn't talk to the people at the counter. That's also part of a big reason why I'm doing this as well, because it's kind of like exposure therapy, just talking to nothing. I feel like I think I've heard people talk about before that that helps you like become a more sociable person or whatever, or like more open is just to talk, um, even when nobody's listening. Um, I'll probably share this around with some of my friends and stuff. Kind of excited to see what they have to say about it. But yeah, here, so this is like the first attempt I did. I wanted to do like supports on the bottom. I did like the look of it, but later on in the build, it like interfered with some aspects of it that I was trying to build. And but yeah, I mean the build that I followed, it's a pretty simple build. I mean, I think if you guys want to build something similar to this, or if you want to follow the tutorial exactly, it's really not that hard and not that expensive. I think it looks really cool. And I'm just gonna apologize now for like the length of this video because I think it's probably gonna be pretty long. Um, I have like 2 hours of footage. Yeah, but I want to say like 45 minutes or something like that of this footage was me being AFK, and obviously I'm not gonna leave a lot of those stretches of just me doing nothing in there. I'll cut them out. But yeah, see what like so in my original idea here was that oh I need to like do like these support beams underneath each corner of the staircase, but then I mentioned it earlier, but it like interfered with some of the aspects of the build later on. So like the cross supports, and I'll probably just get to that, but the pillars like were like connecting to them weird, and I don't know. I ended up scrapping it, and you'll see as the build goes on for longer enough. Here's me going. I think actually I didn't go to get stuff. I'm pretty sure I just went to sleep here. Yeah, I did. But yeah, I'm recording this part of the audio now, the next day, so I don't really remember too much about my day, and I'm just gonna put this out there right now. I do have ADHD, so if I ever like lose a train of thought or like just randomly switch topics mid-sentence, that's why. And I'll try to like kind of fix some of those issues in the editing process. But I have kind of talked about it a little bit. I don't want this series to be like hyper edited or like, you know what I mean? I mean, I might edit in a couple jokes every now and then, but I think for the most part, I want to keep this as kind of just like a conversation. You know, like we're just talking. um, and then obviously in the back, you can just watch me build some things. I think in the end, this build came out really good, in my opinion. I think it looks cool. You'll see it in the end of the video, but these like connecting beams that I did, like going across the sides of the build, these were like the bane of my existence. Like I went through like 4 different iterations of them to get them to like look good. Um, and I ended up just doing the ones from the tutorial because I was like, I can't get this to look good on my own. I'm just gonna follow whatever the person who made the tutorial did. I think in the end they looked pretty cool. I ended up actually even changing them up a tiny bit from the original design. Like as you can see here, I tried doing some like hanging glowstone lanterns, but I don't know, they just looked weird. um, and so like the way I build in Minecraft and the way I've always built in Minecraft is I kind of just like throw stuff at the wall and see if it looks good, and then if it doesn't, I just break it and try again. I'm sure that's probably a pretty common building practice among most players, but that's just how I do it. Like I can picture it in my head kind of, but I can't like judge it on quality until I actually see it in front of me. So like obviously I do plan stuff out of my head, and then like I said earlier, here's me just using dirt instead of the scaffolding. Well, because part of it was I was using the scaffolding, as you could see, but they kept like falling off the edge, and I had to keep jumping down and grab them, and it was just getting really annoying. So I ended up just scrapping or not scrapping, but I ended up just not using the glowstone as much. And then here's me not moving for a minute. But yeah, throughout this footage, I went AFK. At one point, I went AFK for like a long time because I actually got up because my mother-in-law, as I mentioned, they were with us for the weekend. My mother-in-law, my grandmother-in-law, they actually were like downstairs in the lobby waiting while I was recording. So I had to like run downstairs and like let them in, and then I took a break from recording at one point. I don't think it happened at that exact moment, but it does end up happening later on. I will say though, it is nice taking, I wouldn't really call them breaks, but like going AFK and coming back, because then it gives you time to like really stew on it and think. Because when I came back, you saw me right away. I was like, okay, time to do these cross pillars. But yeah, I see right there, I could not for the life of me figure out why they weren't like matching, like looking the same, and it really bothered me. Here's me. I think I do figure it out at one point, and then finally like get it to look right. But these pillars, these like side connecting pillars, were just like such a pain to build. And I am kind of glad I ended up just doing the ones from the tutorial that I was following, because I think all of the different designs I did, none of them just like really stuck or like looked that good. Um, but yeah, today, I woke up pretty early today. I woke up at like 7. I don't work today, so it's like one of my days off. I have like random days off throughout the week, but I have like a set day off of Sunday, which is nice because my wife is off Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday makes more sense. Yeah. Um, but I usually get like Sunday off and then a random day and thrown in the middle of the week. Um, so I thought I'd take some time today to record, but it's been a pretty good day so far. I walked my wife to work, went to like a little corner store, bought myself a Red Bull. The summer edition Red Bull, actually. I don't know if you guys have tried it yet, but it's pretty good. My wife described it as tasting as like a flat Sprite. I agree, but I'm a fan of Sprite, and I mean, drunk. I've had plenty of flat Sprites before, and I'll drink them that way anyways, like a Sprite that's been like sitting out for a couple of days. And I like it regardless. I've always been a huge fan of Sprite. Actually, a fun little fact about myself. Back in like 2018, 2019, Sprite did this like weird promotional thing on Instagram where like if you commented on this one specific post and like gave them a reason to follow your account, they would. And they followed my Instagram, at Adam Jandler, by the way. Go ahead and hit me up with a follow in there. Little self promo. They followed my Instagram for like, gosh, forever. They followed me from like 2019 all the way up until like 2023. And I think they only unfollowed me because they just were like clearing out their following list. Whoever like runs the account was just, oh, why am I following all these random accounts? Um, they never like interacted with any of my posts or anything. They literally just followed me. But I always thought that was really cool. It was like my biggest flex in high school. I was like, yeah, I'm followed by Sprite, no big deal. So it's really stupid now thinking about it. It's like, oh look, I'm followed by a brand. Look how cool I am. But there was this one time, me and my buddies, we had like an Instagram group chat. And I added the Sprite account on Instagram to that group chat, like kind of like just as a joke. I was like, oh, they're never gonna actually accept this request or like look at it. One time I this is like really specific. I remember it pretty well. I sent a GIF of like Golden Freddy from Five Nights at Freddy's like a jump scare, and for some reason, the Sprite account opened that message, like it said "seen by Sprite" underneath it. Um, and then my friends freaked out and they were like, dude, I don't want the Sprite account to see what we're talking about on here. So I ended up removing them right after that. But I just thought it was so funny that out of all the messages that were sent in that group chat, they opened the one message that's just like a Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare. Um, yeah, I still think that's like a highlight of. It's pretty funny. I want to say a highlight of my high school years, but there was a lot other things that happened, and I feel like that'd be really sad if my highlight of high school was something that happened on an Instagram group chat. Um, that being said, I mean, I wasn't like the most popular person in high school. I didn't have like a ton of friends. Uh, a lot of that was mainly my fault. I mean, from what I've heard from people nowadays, if I had just like talked to people more, I would have probably had more friends, which I mean, obviously that's how that works. Like people around me were like, "Oh, this guy seems cool, but he doesn't ever talk to us." So like, well, what the heck is the point? Um, yeah, like I mentioned earlier in this video, my social skills used to be way worse, and like I used to have really much worse social anxiety. Social anxiety, yeah. Um, I think I'm pretty at a comfortable spot nowadays with that. I think I've finally come to terms with a lot of that stuff in my life. Um, I used to make actually a lot of YouTube videos when I was like 12, 13, 14. Me and my friend Timmy, we used to make really silly, stupid videos on his YouTube and my YouTube channel. A little bit of a history lesson, I guess. My old YouTube account used to be called That Guy Patch, spelled Pach. Um, And the reason why I did that is because my parents always had this thing where like they didn't want me using my real name on the internet, so I came up with like a dumb name that I made up for myself, and that was my username on everything for like a very long time. Um, those videos were like really low quality, and I'm really sad because I deleted all of them when I turned like 14. Or not 14, like 15 or 16. I had this like phase where I was like, oh, I was like a dumb little kid. These are really cringe. I need to like expunge these from the internet, even though they didn't have like any views anyways. And looking back, I would love to watch those videos again now at this age. I think that would be really cool. It's like a little peek into what my life was like at the time, but because I was stupid at age 16 or whatever, I purged the internet of that footage. My friend Timmy actually still has a couple of those videos up on his channel, so sometimes I'll go back and rewatch them, but a lot of like the core stuff was gone. Like I used to make puppet videos, not puppet videos, but I would make like videos with like my little stuffed animals, like toys, where I would like puppet them around and like make them talk and interact with each other. Um, it sounds so stupid now, but I mean I was 13, so like I'm 22 now, so of course it's gonna sound stupid. Um, but yeah, I regret getting rid of those videos. I think about it a lot. Um, but yeah, here we go with this part. So the outer trapdoors, you'll see in a minute, but like I completely redesigned this whole outer connecting bit of the build here. But yeah, like most of you guys my age, I presume, probably grew up watching a lot of YouTube content. In fact, that's kind of like the only form of media I consumed for a very long time was YouTube videos. Um, and so I've always wanted to make YouTube videos like this, and I did make an attempt, and as a matter of fact, I'm actually now talking from the future. In the first episode, I mentioned that my quote-unquote first video is like unlisted or whatever. I rewatched it. It's not like terrible. I mean, I scripted that video, you can kind of tell, and I feel like I tried way too hard for it to come off as like funny or whatever. Which is why I decided to not do that for this series, because that doesn't, looking back at that video, it doesn't really feel like me. It feels very fake, like I'm trying really hard to like impress an audience, and I think that's not what I want to do. I don't want this to feel like oh, I'm like forcing myself to like sound funny or whatever, like I'm writing jokes beforehand to like make the content seem funnier. I want this to be very raw, very real, you know, like I've said it, I don't even know how many times I've said it at this point, but I want this to be like a conversation. Sorry to go back to talking about the video. I did relist it because I think it's a good sign of where I'm at and where I've come from, and I think it'll be nice in the future to like go back and rewatch that video and be like, oh, here's some of the things I did right and here's some of the things I did wrong. So I'll leave it on the channel publicly. I don't know. I was just talking about it, and I was just thinking about it, how I deleted all my old videos from when I was a kid, and I regret doing that. So I really don't want to like kind of repeat the same mistakes and like delete these newer videos now. I mean, I feel like that kind of goes against what I'm trying to do here, which is kind of just like fulfill like a lifelong dream of mine, just to make content on YouTube. And like I said in the first episode, this isn't the only series I want to run. I have other ideas for videos and specifically scripted content, but I think with the scripted content, I'm not going to try as hard. I think it'll just be so that my, you know, those specific, like, oh, here's this video about this specific topic that I'm going to be talking about. I don't want those to be like super rambly like this is. Like this will be like a nice break from that, I think, as I make more videos and more content. Oh, and here's me trying to get a good look at the tower from a distance to see what it looks like. I think it'll be a nice break from like the scripted content, just to like kind of sit down and talk, and then it'll also help me like kind of learn what works and what doesn't work in these videos as well, like what topics I should be talking about and stuff. Yeah, I have like a list of video ideas, other games, other content. If there's any content you guys like want me to like make, or like any games you want me to talk about or play, please by all means comment it. I'll check them out, I'll try them out. And Another thing, if you guys want to be added to this realm to like actually like be a part of it, just ask. I mean, obviously, the worst I can say is no. I can ask the host. Because I did find out, actually, I cannot add people. I am admin in the realm, but I can't add people. I think that's specifically only something that the owner can do. Unless if I don't know how to do it, but I couldn't figure it out. But, oh yeah, here's me completely destroying all of the connecting, like, side pillars that I did. Like I said, I changed them a lot. This was my attempt at like my own custom version of it before I eventually just went and did the one that the person at the tutorial did. I think it looked okay, I guess. I don't know. And then also, as I mentioned, here's me destroying the supporting beams underneath the staircase as well. I don't know. I didn't like it. That's is what it boiled down to. I just wasn't a fan. And it's not like I just followed the tutorial one-to-one. I think in the end, I like stopped watching it when I got to like the actual like house part of the tower. I was like, you know what? I'll just build it myself. I did take a couple of inspirations from that person's design though. But for the most part, I just like built the actual house part just myself. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but I think the next episode, episode 3, will be the world spawn video. I can't remember the name of the town now, but I'll remember it by the time I record that footage. I'll probably record it whenever this is done being uploaded. And to those of you guys who are actually like watching this content, like interacting with it, I just want to say thank you. The first video, I got a comment. It was a recommendation to build a dive bar, which I never would have thought of that. I mean, that sounds really cool. I'll probably will actually do that at some point. Maybe in episode 4, I'll make a dive bar. Because I think that just like sounds cool. Like I just want to like I said, I want to just build random cool stuff, you know. And the idea that that's like the first comment build, I think, is really cool. And I'm just gonna address this now. I say a lot in these videos. I've begun to notice that as I'm going through and editing. See, I just did it again. I kind of want to cut that out almost because I say it so much, but I don't know. That's just how I talk, like in real life even. As I say it again. I think I'll just leave it in because, like I said before, I just want this to feel very like real and very like raw. So I'll just leave them in. If anything, you know, fun game out of it. Take a shot every time I say They'll be like plastered by the time these videos are like even like 10 minutes in. I say it like 400 times. Maybe in the future I'll do like an tracker in the corner. Jeez, please, man. I'm just now realizing how much I say it. Hopefully as I do these videos more and as I talk more, I'll like not do that as much. It's like a filler. Like when I don't know what to say and I don't want there to be like awkward silence, I like just like end up saying that instead, just like fill the gap. And then also, I want to say here is me doing the actual like connecting centerpiece from the video. I try to like include my pillars vertically through it with the glowstone, but it just looked bad in my opinion. I do end up moving the glowstone as well. I just really wanted to implement glowstone. I think glowstone, it used to be like one of like the main lighting blocks, and now there's just so many more in the game, but I think it's really underrated, and it's like one of my favorite blocks, which is why I used it so much in my village, and like not my village, but like my compound area, my base, with my glowstone lanterns. They were all lantern, like actual like copper and iron lanterns at one point, but I don't know if you've noticed, but in this texture pack they look kind of weird and like super bright. So with this texture pack, obviously it is the old textures, but then the idea is that they redesigned some like the newer items to look more like, oh, what if these items were added in 2014? And some of the designs, I think it's nailed, like with like the wood, like the plank variant specifically, and some like the natural stones. But like some of like the more modern items, like the lanterns and stuff, they just look weird. And I might fix that by like downloading another resource pack that like fixes them and makes them look better. But I think for now it's fine, and I just don't rely on them as much, which I think is a good thing anyways. Because when I first downloaded this pack, I was like, oh my goodness, there are lanterns everywhere. I used so many lanterns. Um, so I ended up swapping them out for like other things like torches and like glowstone and whatnot. There are a couple of things I want to get like some like sea lanterns and frog lights, but frog lights are a pain to get. And I think at some point I'll probably make that a video of me trying to get different frogs and making like a little frog enclosure somewhere to get all the different frog lights. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but the way to get frog lights is the frogs have to eat so there's a different frog variant for like a bunch of the different biomes, and each frog variant drops a different colored frog light. I think there's 4 frog lights total. But the way you get them to drop the frog lights is you have to have them eat a block of soul sand. Or it might be soul soil. It's either soul sand or soul soil, which is so... That's such like a Minecraft thing, like a modern Minecraft thing, and like just like this weirdly hyper-specific way to acquire a new block. But they look so good. Like they're like some of like the best block, like lighting blocks in the game. So I think at some point I will definitely be acquiring those and like using them for some future builds. Because I think at one point I want to build like not like a huge backrooms area, but like a small backrooms area somewhere around either spawn or my base or wherever else. Like I've said a couple times, I have such a long list of build ideas and it just keeps getting bigger. Like I'll be at work, like on my lunch break or like, you know, grabbing someone's order and I'm like, huh, that would be a really cool build. Or like I'll be scrolling on Instagram and it's like a tiny little build and I'm like, huh, I gotta build that in my world now. This is probably like the most into Minecraft I have been in years. Like it almost feels like I'm like rediscovering the same kind of like love and addiction that I had with this game when I was like 10 years old. Which I mentioned it in the first episode, at least I think I did. I may have cut this part out, but I said that I think a big part of why I'm getting so back into Minecraft like this is because I moved so far from home, and like this is like something that I spent a lot of time in as a young kid back home. So it kind of just like brings me back to home almost playing this game, you know? It's very like reminiscent of like my early childhood, and I don't know, as I've gone into like adulthood now, I've mentioned it before, but I think I mentioned it before. I keep saying that. I don't. I'm 22 years old. Within like since turning 18, I think I've just had this like weird phase. It's not really a phase. It's like just who I am now, where I'm just like so deeply connected to like my younger self and like aesthetics of that era of like the early 2010s, early like late 2000s, and I don't know. I want to say it's almost a bad thing, but it's really not. I feel like. I mean, like the way I decorate. Like, I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, you see my room tour. I have like a lot of like old. Like I have a CRT TV that I just recently bought, and I hooked up my old Wii and I modded it and put some free games and stuff on it. And I do want to make some video content with my Wii. I gotta buy this adapter to like be able to like record the footage, and then it's a whole process. I want to record it on the CRT, but I don't know if that's possible. I think I do have to like buy another separate, or like not buy a separate TV, but like hook it up in a different room to something with HDMI ports. Oh, and then here's me finally doing the support beams, or not the support beams, sorry, the side railings. I did change this. I think I break it later on in the video, and then I ended up changing it, the design again at some point. I'd like go back to like the original design regardless. So like whatever, it doesn't really matter that I ended up breaking it. I think that because this is not something that the tutorial did, this is something I threw in there. Like I said earlier in the tutorial, or in the video, the tutorial, the person who did it, they used like spruce trapdoors on like the side of the stairs, and it looks okay, like it looks cool. I keep like talking about the tutorial, and I keep like, I'm not trying to like rag on that person's build. I think it's really cool. I really like the style that they went with like the hyper detailing. I just personally don't do that, and that's nothing against them. That's nothing against their building style. Um, I I'm saying that like the person who made the tutorial is ever going to see this video. I doubt it. It'd be really cool if they did. Um, Maybe I'll like throw a comment on their video being like, "Oh yeah, hey, I used this tutorial to like build a watchtower in my own Let's Play series. Um, Thanks for that." I get like, yeah, you know, just give them a thank you. Maybe I will do that actually. It sounds kind of nice. This video is dragging on pretty long, but I mean, like I said, I did have 2 hours of recording. I think in the end, it's probably going to be like around like an hour and 10 minutes or something like that. Which, I mean, that's a long video, but gives me a lot of time to talk about stuff. Like I guess I could talk some more about what I did with the Wii. I also recently modded my 2DS that I've had for a very long time as well. Put a bunch of free games on that. That's pretty cool. I've been playing new Super Mario Bros. For the DS on it. Because I modded it so you can play old Nintendo DS games without having a cartridge. Even though I believe I actually do have the cartridge somewhere. I just I like the ease of access to being able to boot it up from the home screen, not have to like, you know, actually put in the cartridge. Because that's the thing. I've done a couple of like the modding stuff and like with like the free games and stuff, but I 100% still fully believe in owning physical media, and I will own physical media in the future. I think there's a balance of both somewhere to be found there. Because first of all, I think physical media is just the coolest thing ever. Like owning discs and having shelves full of discs and like stuff like that. I mean, obviously, you know what I'm talking about. And especially nowadays, where I think recently PlayStation just announced that they're going to be stopping production on like physical games, which I think is like the most stupidest thing ever. Like digital games as a concept, it's just like, it's like so ridiculous to me. Like obviously I do believe in digital ownership, but I think as it currently stands, digital ownership, you don't actually own it. At any point they could just pull access to it, or like if the servers go down or whatever, or wherever the data for that is stored, you just don't have access to it anymore, which I think is so stupid. And that they can just take it from you, it's like I mean, I could go on for like an insane tangent about that forever, about how I disagree with digital games and stuff. I think physical ownership is and will always be the way to go with video games. You just can't beat a disc. I know part of it is like how much trash that puts into like the world, like, you know, plastic wise and whatnot, because when people don't want their games anymore, what do? They end up getting thrown away at some point, I'm sure of it, or like they get sold to somebody and that person ends up throwing them away, or I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of like discs in like landfills or floating around the ocean right now. But you know, with me personally, when I plan on buying stuff in the future, like games and stuff, I'm gonna keep them. They're not going anywhere. They're gonna die with me, or that they're gonna go on to like my next generation if I ever end up having kids or whatever, or at the very least sold to hopefully somebody who will actually get some enjoyment out of it and like keep them as well. Yeah, and you know, it's made me think about, because I actually was just thinking about this the other day, about like what happens to all your like physical personal belongings after you pass. And obviously I know there's like wills and stuff, but like I say that, but you know, I've experienced death a couple times, and for the most part, and at least in the death I've experienced, I'm sure it's different for everybody. All like the physical items were kind of just like picked through by the family, like, oh hey, I want this, I want that, you can have this, you can have that, and then the stuff that doesn't get taken ends up either getting thrown away or sold at like a yard sale. I don't know, I kind of want to like, almost like when I pass, I kind of want to like make a list of all of my items and like be like, hey, give this to this person, give this to that person, give the, you know what I mean? Like not diversify, but like, because it's always like, not always, and as a matter of fact with my family, there was never any arguments over, oh, who gets this, who gets that. It was kind of all already very civil, very like, oh hey, you can have this, you can have that. I kind of want to almost Yeah, like make a list and like write down everything that goes to everybody. And I I know obviously the family would be like the priority for that kind of thing. Like, oh, the family gets this, the family gets that. I kind of also want to give some of my stuff to like my friends, even if that makes sense. I don't know if that, I mean, I'm sure that does make sense. I'm sure people do that. Like, obviously, yeah, family first. Family gets, the first picks or whatever. Or like, oh, hey, these important things go to my family. And that's also another reason why I'm really happy that I'm finally doing this kind of content on YouTube, because now I have a voice that like exists beyond even like myself. Like this will be there, obviously until YouTube is gone or whatever. Which I don't know if that'll happen anytime soon. But like, hey, people will like they can like listen to me talk even after I'm gone, and they can like get insights into my life and to like what's going on and like how I feel. And to go off of that, I want to say this right now, as of recording this right now, I am probably the happiest I've ever been living here in Seattle. I'm doing so good. I know I'm really bad about talking about it to people, and I keep like forgetting to like give people updates and stuff. And part of this is, hey, this is an update now. Like this is like a conversation where I can like talk about, oh yeah, I'm doing really good. I'm really happy. I'm, I love it here. I love being in this city. It's so nice. There's so much to do, there's so much to explore, so much like life to live, and everything is like something I haven't really mentioned. I back home, the culture there is very much like, oh, you want to go somewhere, you have to drive. The nearest activity place from where you live is like a half-hour walk at the least, and at the most it's like a couple hours to like an hour to 2 hours, whatever. And or alternatively, alternatively, oh here, right here, I did try to doing the trapdoor railing, and I did not like it whatsoever, so I ended up deleting it. But anyways, to go back to what I was talking about, the nearest actual like fun entertainment stuff is another city away that's like an hour drive, so you couldn't even walk that far. Whereas here in Seattle, I mentioned it earlier, there is an arcade 15 minutes walking distance away from our apartment, and like an actual good arcade that has like good games and stuff. Because obviously there was an arcade back home in my town, but it's like small and it kind of sucks. They don't really have that many options. The one here is so cool, and I love that. I love because I personally I'm not a huge fan of driving. I'm not a huge fan of driving culture. Obviously, I have my license, and I did a lot of driving back home. I had like a 20-minute commute to work every day, but my commute to work is a walk now. I walk to work, and then I take the bus home, which is insane. That's just like so out there for me because none of that infrastructure exists back home. I mean, if you want to like do public transportation, it's not even public transportation, it's private transportation because it's all Uber. Or it's a shuttle, which even the shuttle is private transportation because the shuttle's not run by the city, it's run by like a shuttle company. So it's stuff like that. It's so different here, and I'm so fortunate and so thankful that I get to have this now. And it's because of everybody in my life around me up until this point has like supported me to get to this point, to be able to move, so far from home. Because I'll say this much: I lived in Arizona before. That's where the town is, and now I live, however many states away in Washington, and it's like a whole different world here. But yeah, going back to like talking about how I feel and like what's going on in my life right now. My sister is pregnant. Uh, she's having a boy, and I'm gonna be an uncle now. Which, I mean, I already am an uncle, not by directly by blood relation. My wife, um, she or they have a nephew, and so that's technically I'm an uncle there, uncle-in-law or whatever, or however whatever you would call that. I'm not really sure, but now I'm gonna have like a blood nephew, and I feel so bad because I've been really bad about like expressing how excited I am about it, or like talking to my sister about it, and that's like the coolest thing ever. I'm so excited. I'm excited for them. I'm excited to meet him. The timing of it is it's really tragic because I found out about her being pregnant like the week before we left to move to Washington, and it turns out she's not going to be having the baby until like November, and so I probably won't even get to see, I won't be able to like be there for like the baby shower or like him being born and all that. I have to miss all that because flying out such short notice, it's not easy anymore, especially now. I mean, it's expensive, and I'm living out on my own. Not my own, obviously, I'm with my wife, but you get what I mean. But I just, it's just so cool. I'm so excited. I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy in general. Like, there's so many things going on in my life right now. It's just like I'm almost overwhelmed, if that makes sense. I mean, obviously, yeah. I don't know. Part of this also, part of the reason why I'm making this video, because I just have so many thoughts, so many things to say, and I finally have like an outlet to like put those out into the world. I mean, obviously I could just like write a diary, but I mean, this is so much cooler than that. I mean, I'm making YouTube videos. Yeah, and as I'm getting closer to finally finishing this build, I think at this point here, after I build out the platform, this is where I stopped following the tutorial completely. And I don't know, I kind of like how the build comes out. You'll see. I keep saying that. You'll see. I don't know why I keep talking about the build before you even see it like executed. But yeah, it's just like so many things going on in my life right now, and it's so crazy to me because for like the longest time, like for like the last like maybe like 3 years or so, nothing really has happened. It's been pretty like monotonous, kind of like, nah, I wouldn't say boring, and I don't want to, I keep talking about like my hometown like it's terrible, like I hated living there, like I was unhappy. I was happy, obviously. I mean, I love my family, I love living close to my family, and I miss it a lot, especially recently. But I don't know, it felt like I was kind of boxed in, like I didn't really have any choices, any options, and it feels like moving here I have that now. You know what I mean? Like I could do so much. I could meet so many different people. And I mean, I miss my friends, I miss my family. But I can always go visit, and they can always come visit. And as a matter of fact, people already have. My wife and I had a couple friends stay with us for a week, and they loved it here. We had a great time. It was awesome seeing them again. So it's not like I moved that far. I mean, Arizona to Washington, it's a doable flight. It's not terribly expensive. It's not that long of a flight. And the airport is pretty close to like our apartment even. But yeah, this is like the first iteration of like the base of the house. I ended up not liking the stone design either. I changed that as well. It's weird. I want to like apologize almost for like this being such like a yap fest, but that's like why I'm making this content. Like that's what this is supposed to be. So like I don't have to apologize. And even if like nobody watches it, I think this will be still good for me, even just to like talk just about anything. And then on top of it, I get to like, make Minecraft content, which I mean, I'm already playing a lot of Minecraft. I might as well, you know what I mean? And then upload it, and then people get to see it, and I get to talk to, the comment section or whatever, and interact with them and build ideas as they come along. And it's cool because now I get to like watch my progress too, which I think I may have mentioned it, may have not. I might have cut that part out, but I do wish I would have started doing this sooner. I'm glad I'm doing it now, and I'm glad I didn't start from scratch because I feel like that just would be kind of boring. Because, everybody does a Minecraft Let's Play from scratch, but who just, like, has a world that they've been playing a lot and just, like, jumps in and starts making content there? It's like, it's pretty much like I'm in creative mode. I just get to build stuff, basically, because I'm, like, far enough progressed that getting resources, like, it's not a hassle. It's annoying, sure, but it's not, like, a hassle. You know what I mean? And like I have an elytra, so accessing different biomes that are like where I need specific items would be a lot easier. And I think it'll make good content too. Like, oh, here's me exploring. And I know right now this footage is pre-recorded and I'm like talking over it, but maybe in the future some content, like specifically like if I explore a new biome or something, or as new updates release, maybe I'll just record the audio as I'm playing. So like live recording. I think that would be pretty cool. Maybe even I'll dabble into like streaming at some point with this series. Like, oh, hey, here's an episode that's live. You know, come join, come watch, come interact. There's a lot of opportunities here, and I'm excited. I know you can probably hear it in my voice, but I'm really excited that I'm finally doing this. That I'm finally just like, okay, you know what? I've been wanting to do content forever. I tried it earlier last year. I didn't really like how it came out. Just try again. Just start. Just do it. Because, you know, with me, I have all these ideas of stuff I want to do, but if I don't just shut up and do it, I'll never do it. You know what I mean? And then I ended up not liking this like slab design. I just went with stairs in the end. Um, oh yeah, this part's pretty cool. I did take this from the tutorial. I didn't actually watch the rest of the video, like the part where they designed like this like base up at the top of it. I kind of want to go back and see what the build is supposed to look like versus what I made. But I did take they had like a little design on the roof that I think I'm about to build it here in a minute. That I liked a lot and that I ended up taking. Yeah, you'll see here. It's like an antenna. And then the copper rod. I'm sure this isn't why they built it, but the copper rod for me is so that, oh hey, if this building gets struck by lightning, it's not going to burn down now. The copper rod will attract it and it'll divert the fire to that block there instead of the wood. Because yeah, this build is completely made out of wood. So if it was to get struck by lightning, it would probably burn down either a little bit or a lot, and that's been known to happen in this realm a lot. There's like a house near spawn, and I'll show you in the next video when I do my tour of spawn that like actually burned down a little bit. It's really sad actually because it's a really cool build. But yeah, it's especially weird for me now because I used to watch a lot of like Minecraft Let's Play content, and now I'm actually like making it, which is really cool. Oh, and here's me running back to spawn to grab some cobblestone because I was being lazy, and I'll show all that stuff in another video. That'll be like a little teaser. You can pause or whatever and like look around, but I'll give you like a full in-depth tour of the spawn city in the next video. And then probably the video after that, I think I'm gonna build a dive bar in spawn. So I think that'd be pretty cool. Like as I was just saying, it's so different for me that I'm actually like making this content now. Because like growing up, I used to watch so much Minecraft content. I've always wanted to do like a Minecraft Let's Play, but I've never had like the proper computer for it, and now I do. And again, I wish I would have just started doing this way sooner, but you know, whatever. It's better late than never, right? um, I'm so excited and I'm so happy to be doing this, and I know I keep just like repeating myself about how excited and happy I am, and I'll try not to do that too much, like repeat myself. I know I do that a lot, and I've already done that a lot in these videos. Um, yeah, as we get closer to the build being finished, I messed up this. I think I actually ended up keeping the chimney like that. I think it looks kind of nice how funky it is. Um, but yeah, the video is we're we're in like the final stretch at this point. The base is almost completed. I'm kind of glad because I'm running out of things to say. I keep um trying to think of what else to talk about at this point. I mean, I guess I can mention this. Um, my wife's cousin actually, which I'm sure will actually end up watching this video. So if you get this far, thanks for watching. Um, he moved here recently, actually, very recently, like a couple weeks ago, and then obviously my wife, not obviously, I haven't said it yet. My wife also has other cousins who live out here, and not in Seattle, but like close enough that we can like visit them pretty easily. So we're not like completely isolated from, you know, everybody. We have people out here, and I think that's a good thing because I know a lot of my family were like worried that like, oh my gosh, he's moving so far away and there's nobody out there to help him if something happens. It's not entirely true. I have family out here. Um, yeah, I think this like oak design, it looks okay. I'm not a huge fan of it, so I ended up changing it up anyways. And then with like the interior decorating part, I kind of I'll save this part for or talking about this part for when it actually happens. That's also part of the issue with me pre-recording this content is I want to like start talking about stuff before it even comes up in the footage. Um, and I shouldn't do that because then what the heck is the point of, even including like the build up to it if I just talk about it before it even happens. And if there's any like suggestions you guys have for like this kind of content, like if you think you would rather me just like cut out some of the building stuff and like maybe just leave in like the highlights, I can do that to like keep these videos short. Um, if anything, it would be easier for me, but I don't I don't know. I don't have a ton of free time right now. I mean, obviously I have more free time because I mentioned this before, but I used to work the closing shift back home at Target. But thankfully, I was actually able to get the like a morning shift here. As I mentioned, I think that was in this part. It might have been in part one. I did a 5 a.m. to noon shift the other day. Um, it's been an adjustment because I worked the closing shift at the Target back home for like a year. So that was my life for like a year. But getting home at 10 o'clock at night, you just like you're locked into this cycle where you get home late, but you worked for like the whole day, and you woke up late. So you woke up. It would wake up at like noon, do a couple things, and then go straight to work, and then come home. So I didn't want to go to bed go to bed straight to bed because then I just spent an entire day at work. What a waste of a day. You know what I mean? So I'd stay up super late, but then you stay up late, you wake up late, so then you can't do anything before work. So then and then I put my wife through a lot, and I'm so thankful that she put up with it, but she would like stay up late to just to, like spend time with me and play games with me, even though she was working a job where she would occasionally work early in the morning. And so it's been nice getting able to actually like spend a lot of time with my wife and do a lot of things with my wife, and now I just have so much more free time. And yeah, with this interior design here, I it went through a lot of alterations. I wanted to like fill this room up with like a lot of stuff and make it very busy, like how my house is, but the space I had with like the staircase didn't really work fully, and it just was like too cramped. And then I had a couple of ideas of stuff I wanted to put in there. Oh, speaking of this little chair design here with the stair, in a couple of, I think in a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe next month, the month after, there'll be like a new Minecraft update. As of today, as recording this, they just announced or like added in the most recent snapshot for like the new update, the Dappled Forest, chairs that actually function. It's not actually like a chair. It's called a cushion, but you can like sit in it. So I'm gonna be able to swap all these like old stair chairs with actual like chairs that you can sit in, which I know it probably sounds so stupid to be excited about something like that, but I'm really excited about something like that. I think that's gonna be really cool, and it's gonna look really cool. Um, I can't believe that that's something that's actually being added to this game. I'm excited for that update in general because I mean, I'll probably make a video of exploring all the features in it, like exploring the new biome and all that whatnot. Oh yeah, and then as I said earlier, I ended up shrinking the staircase down into instead of being like an actual staircase leading up to it, like a trapdoor with like a one block ladder. Because I think it makes the room bigger. And it gave me more like liberties to like actually like decorate and do stuff in there. Which in the end, I think it is kind of cool. I think I did decorate it pretty cool. Uh, I don't know. I think I brushed over it, but I did put a sign down with like some like message on it. That was me. I was trying to give the base like some lore, which I don't know. I know that kind of sounds stupid, but here it is me right now. But I don't know. I just thought it'd be kind of cool. I ended up getting rid of it at the end because I was like, do I really want to do this? This seems like kind of like loser, lame. I don't know why I even think that. This is like my world, you know what I mean? I can do, if I want to do that, I can just do that. I don't know. And I ended up breaking it. I might put it back, maybe change it up a little bit. But yeah, the interior design, like the interior decoration here is pretty cool. Um, I think with the old textures, I don't know. I kind of like prefer how things look with the old textures. I'm okay. I'm not a one of those people who's like, oh, I hate the new textures. I think they never should have changed them. I definitely do like the new textures. I literally changed this texture pack just because, just like, see what things would look like if it were older, I guess. Um, and I think it's cool. I like it a lot. I think maybe in the future I'll try changing up the texture pack, or maybe I'll add in like just like the basic Minecraft textures. But I think for now I'll just keep it as is. I think I actually forgot to complete that laptop. I don't think I ever got a picture frame to finish it. So I'll probably throw that in the next video of me actually like finishing it. And then here's me again with the lore. I think I may have just actually like finished the build. I think that was like the last thing I wanted to do. You can see how much footage is left. Yeah, okay, so I believe the last of this footage is me just cleaning up the build. And like cleaning up the mess that I made with like the chests and stuff downstairs, and then I'll show off the build a little bit, and then that'll be it. Um, but yeah, that's it. This is the watchtower completed. I think it's pretty cool. I really do. I think it's one of like my more, not my more favorite, but like one of like the most recent builds that I've done that I'm like a huge fan of. Um, I'm excited to like add more stuff as well in the future, and I'm excited to like maybe even add on stuff to this. Like you see here, I brought back the railing design. That it's so funny to me that I broke this railing design like 3 times and rebuilt it 3 times. And every time I like struggle to get it right. I think it's funny, but I think in the end, I think it looks good in the end. I think I actually finally nailed it, and got it to look the proper, like what I intended in my head for it to look like. I run home to grab the materials I needed because I ended up missing a couple materials. But yeah, see, and then I did like the corners a block higher, and then I had like the fence connecting all around. The reason why I ended up bringing it back is actually because I noticed going up and down the stairs, I kept like falling off a lot. I don't know if it was shown in the footage very much, but I like just kept falling off. But yeah, like I said, here's me cleaning up the mess I left behind and lighting this area up. But yeah, I think the build came out pretty good. I'm very proud of what I was able to accomplish with it. But yeah, there you see in the corner there the lantern. It's just like really like brightly colored, and I don't know, it's weird. And then here's me flying around and giving you guys like a last tour finally of it. Break the sign. So yeah, the spyglass is actually permanently there, just so you can like grab it and like look around. That was the main thing of why I wanted to make this tower, so you can get like a view of like everything that I made, as well as like a little bit of spawn and some like the bases around spawn. Um, it's in such a cool spot because like this little like mountain that I put it on top of is like right outside, or like right next to like that, like there's a forest below it on one side, and then it's like a big empty field next to it. It's just like and then like the pathway leading up to it, I think is really cool. I just think it's really cool, in the end, with like the fireplace and like the smoke coming out of the chimney. I did accidentally bring the spyglass with me. I don't know if in the footage I ran back to put it back, but I did put it back in the chest at some point. Or actually, you know what? No, I did keep it intentionally so I could like give you like a scoped in look of it from the top of the Minecraft sign. See, with like the little antenna. The redstone torch glows really bright from a distance. I never noticed that, but yeah, that is the entire build. If you watched this whole video, thank you so much. I will see you in part 3, which I'm gonna record after this. So I'll see you later. Bye.